Hey everybody, it's Matt and Dyan. Welcome back to OK Aussie. It is Wednesday, 10th of September. Would you believe that already? 6:15 p.m. is what we're just ticking over, but Dyan is not very well. Spacey, in fact, and some neurology stuff is going on. Now, I just thought we'd catch a pre-ictal if we are going into a seizure, because unfortunately all the indicators are there and she has been very good at communicating very clearly. Thank you. I actually appreciate that, because it's not actually easy to capture with interoception for Diane being autistic, the internal states of her own body, and particularly with changes and fluctuations. It is the migraine. Okay, so let's actually explain what the pre-ictal part, before ictal seizure, before seizure for Diane. Right, just saw the lip code just then too. So we've got some blethrosism probably starting to happen up, and some oromandibular. So the segmented cranial dystonia. Dyan is a 51-year-old female. She has a rare genetic chromosomal disorder called 22q11.2 deletion syndrome. It's a microdeletion of the 22nd chromosome. She's missing between 30 to 50 genes. 3 million DNA building blocks, and that equates anywhere up to 185 clinical symptoms are possible with this condition. High prevalence, incident rate of seizures and seizure-like. In fact, it's about 65% of the patients with 22q will have some sort of seizure or seizure-like condition. About 8.3% will have epilepsy specifically. Now, with that comes many other concerns. We have a lot of neurological things that happen. The dystonia is another one of those, which is what Dyan's starting to go into at the moment with the upturn of the mouth. So it's the oromandibular dystonia, and the blethrosism affecting the eyes and the eyelids. It is only 6:16 p.m. and her eyes almost look like they're shut, as if she's going to sleep. She's not. She never goes to sleep, this one. She's autistic, ADHD, OCD, and has Tourette's as well. Pre-ictally, we noticed that there's been migraine sort of day. Woke up this morning, she's had half a rizatriptane wafer. At about 4:30 p.m. this afternoon, she's had another half, which is very unusual to have two in a day. Let's get you some medication, muscle relaxant, if you are able to take some now. No? That's our first go-to point. All right. Dyan is a bit resistant on certain types of medication. The PRN for this would be a muscle relaxant called clonazepam, 2 milligrams. It would help with the dystonia before it actually blows out. But if we're going to go into seizures, it's not going to really stop those happening. She is on anti-seizure medications normally. However, certain triggers, lack and quality and duration of sleep being one of those, starting to get some upper body tics happening as well, is a key concern. So when we have migraines, we always go, oops, warning number one, if they're pervasive and staying around. If her overall pain scale is quite high, always a concern. She's indicated that she's been feeling spacey. She's got a fatiguing condition and she's been resting up. She hasn't been out of bed the entire day, okay? So that's the resting, that's the pacing component with the MECFS, myalgic encephalomyelitis chronic fatigue syndrome. We've got pulse oximetry on already, and what I had noticed was obviously there's been some drop-offs in the O2. Her saturated oxygen had been going down to about 92, 91%. Just on the borderline for the threshold, so 90% there'll be a threshold alarm, and that's when we provide supplementary oxygen if it's sustained. And there's also heart rate alarms too, and the heart's been flapping. Unfortunately, this is likely to be some sort of neurological thing with obviously the dystonia already kicking in. Now, she already felt the indications predominant before the seizure that something wasn't going to be too good. And that's really good for her. Like I said, with autism, she's not a good indicator of what's happening in her body if something is changing, and being able to communicate and report that. So I'm really, really proud of her in that regards. Her temperature at the moment is 37.5, so it is already in that just on febrile. Normally it's around that 37.5 to 38 degrees Celsius. Hello, Maxima. Have you come to help Mummy as well? Keep an eye on her. Thank you for doing that. Max is our little ragdoll kitten. Willow is over there in the top corner. Oxygen stats are at 96%. Heart rate is at 60 beats per minute. So because her temperature was 37.5, I've already given her a Panadol Osteo, 665, just to try and get on top of the fever and also to contribute and help with the pain. She's already had, like I said, 2 halves of the rizatriptane wafer today, which is the max salt wafer for the migraines, and it doesn't seem to be cutting it. We've done some traction work in the neck because she's got hypermobility, EDS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. There's some problems. CCI, craniocervical instability, there's some impingements, C6, C7 sort of region. I think that's been a key contributor to pain. We've done some traction, we've done some relaxation, we've worked massaging the muscles. Hopefully those sort of things have helped to reduce the pain somewhat. The hand position is quite typical before a seizure too, where she actually brings it into the steeple position in front of her body. So they can be early indicators for us of going into a seizure. Thanks, sweetie. I'm just going to take your blood pressure, so I'm just going to borrow that arm, if I may. Thank you. Oh, Max, are you helping as well, or are you just trying to get a little bit on the end? You're feeling cold, are you? Or this is cold? Now, it is actually 16 degrees outside at the moment. We've got Google Home Automation that gives us that information just up above. Here, we also know the room temperature is 22.7 degrees, so that's doing quite well at the moment. Oxygen stats are at 96%, heart rate's at 59 beats per minute. Just wanted to see what the blood pressure is, just to see what's happening. Our normally Dian's very low, 85/60 will be our expected. She is normally bradycardiac, so normally around about that 52-55 beats per minute is what we expect. You can see the ticking action in the upper torso occurring. There's still some segmented cranial dystonia happening. Good girl. Thank you, man. I've got it off here. Sensory overload 101. Doesn't like the sensory sensations. 102/66, heart rate 58, so that's just from the blood pressure readings to give us an indication. Now, she has been complaining of some muscle cramping through the legs and the thighs. The legs are hurting right now. The dystonia is certainly in the face, and I'm assuming that it's the dystonia contractions that are happening in the legs as well. She's rubbing her chest and just underneath the breast region. Excuse me, Maxie. Well, I can give you some medication to make it stop. Can we? No, you're doing the oromandibular thing right now. So if you have a look at the face, you'll see the jaw thrusting on the left-hand side particularly. I'd love to, Bubba. Anything I can do is give you a medication, but we're a little bit too far gone. I need to give you medication to make it stop. So when we have these, it does. And it stops it from going worse. And you don't want it to get worse. So can I give you some medication? That's not helping me. Now, the blepharospasms affect the eye, eyelid, eyebrows. The oromandibular comes from the transmandibular joint affecting the maxillomandible, the joints, and it affects the bone structure, moves the jaw, and affects the muscles around that, masseter muscles particularly. She may get axial tilt dystonia, which causes the head to tilt or turn in an unusual posture. Dystonia causes muscle contractions, irregular muscle contractions that are totally out of her control. They cause a distortion or body position. So if you imagine a normal hand, it can cause the hand to twist and go into weird, unusual posturing shapes as everything contracts into position. So we look out for focal dystonia across the hands and the feet, but it can affect other areas. It can affect the diaphragm or the intercostal muscles, chest, esophagus, shoulders. Are you having a sleep? No, nice. I'll go to sleep then, shall I? All right.
Rest.
You're resting. It's 6:23 p.m. I'd love to rest. Wouldn't that be nice? At least I got to have my cheesy meat pies before you decided to do this.
Yeah, cheese ones.
No, cheese ones.
Aww.
I know, they're from Tasmania. They're the national meat pies. You're not talking to me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just making sure that your bed is level. I can take it up a little bit of the head. There you go. Blah. Now, you've already had some ondansetron at 6 p.m. Ondansetron 4 milligrams sublingual wafer, just to help the nausea. You've had your medicinal CBD THC a little bit early. We had that at about 5:45. That also helps with nausea. Generally helps with calming, relaxing of the muscles. Helps get in front of seizures as well. And obviously, it helps with pain predominantly as well. That's the THC component of that particular element. You want to take the hot pack away? No. Okay. Are you comfortable? No. Is there anything I can get you or do for you? No.
I put the heater on.
You put the heater on, did you? Yes, you did. I'm just noticing that. Well, the room temperature is 22.8 degrees and it's slowly warming up. More of the muscles around the jaw are engaging at the moment. So at this stage, we're starting off with cognitive confusion, dystonia, pain, migraines.
I'll get rid of it.
If I gave you some clonazepam right now, it would actually make it stop and go away.
Okay.
Okay, good call. I like that.
I'm sick of all the medicine.
Of course you are. Okay, it's not much fun. You have so many complex things going on for you. Why would you want to? Oxygen stats are 97%, heart rate is 66.
It's hard to swallow.
Yep. I'm going to bring your bed up to enable that to happen. 6:27 p.m. We're giving clonazepam 2 milligrams orally. There we go. You got that. Okay. And we haven't. We're going to try that again. Do you want me to pop it in your mouth or do you want to try? Okay. There it is. Place it where you need it.
Down.
It's okay. It's down. Do you want another sip at all to help bring it down all the way? There we go. Okay. Okay, you did really well, sweet pea. Not much fun, and I'm so sorry, but we don't have any other choice apart from an oral tablet medication. Going down. Now, other types of medications, like the emergency medications for the seizure, are a liquid, which I can either inject in or provide buccal, but other medications like tablets don't give us that. So it would be nice to have certain things in a syringe type format to be able to deliver, and that helps save the issues around obviously choking with aspiration, and particularly when she's like this and losing control of the muscles in the ability of dysphagia of swallowing, particularly when she's having oromandibular. As you can see, continue with the jaw muscles, the cheek muscles that are engaging. It is a bit silly, but you know, this is what we're dealing with. This is a system that doesn't help us. We're in the public health system in WA, unfortunately, and it's not contributing very nicely. We have 24 different specialists for Dyan with her complex condition, but there's no adult specialist for 22q across all of Australia. There's 2 for children, Perth Children's Hospital, and 1 in Queensland, but we can't go backwards and access them as an adult patient because of the Medicare rules. That makes it difficult. With rare conditions, and there is a rare portal for rareportal.org.au for the Australian Rare Project, you can find more information about the 7,000 plus rare conditions that exist in Australia, and also find support groups that are available for people with those conditions. 250 new rare conditions are added each and every year. And only 5% of the rare conditions that are available actually have any treatment plan or pathway. It takes about 8 to 10 years to get a diagnosis currently. And 50% of the rare conditions may not actually have or get a diagnosis because of their rarity and complexity. I'm sorry, boo. I'm still going through dystonia at 6:28 p.m. So we're given the first level of medications already. We've dealt with the pain, which is the rizatriptan wafers. We've dealt with the nausea with the ondansetron. We've done a level of seizure medications with the medicinal CBD THC. We've helped with the muscle relaxants, which is the clonazepam. If this progresses and goes and blows out into tonic-clonic seizures or something similar, then we'll be using emergency medications such as the midazolam at a certain interval Well, we've just got to keep an eye on his heart rate during these. We've got to be careful of any motor tics, myoclonus that can cause bruising or contusions. And we've got to be careful of aspiration or if oxygen saturations drop off. Oh, Bubba.
Yeah.
You can see the difficulty that you're having. Okay, you're doing so well, my brave girl. It's 6:29 p.m. Oxygen stats are good at 96%. Heart rate's at 64 beats per minute. Like I said, we've dealt with the temperature to bring that down by giving Panadol. Quite commonly with patients with 22q fevers, febrile can be a causation and trigger into seizures. Infections, and we already know that Dyan is running multiple infections currently. She is on 2 sets of antibiotics for those. So both of those can be key contributors. Changes in electrolyte imbalance can also be a causation for Dyan, and particularly when she's got gastroparesis, a GI tract related issue. That's where the imbalance can actually occur. Lack of sleep quality, so duration, quality, getting to the repair phase, level 3 type sleep, that's difficult for Dyan. She's been dealing with a lot of pain. There's intense pain. Having conditions such as fibromyalgia, which actually means muscle pain, air loss, down loss, you have very heightened pains when you've got connective tissue disorder because you're trying to hold that bag of bones all together, all 208 bones in your body have been held together by the connective tissue components, and that causes subluxations, dislocations, muscle tears, wandering organs and things like that as well. It's not much fun. Still a lot of the oromandibular at the moment in the mouth. You're doing okay, bro. So she's got no control around any of his motor movements. Dystonia, uncontrollable contractions or fibrillations and tremors. Normally originates coming out of the basal ganglia, a point in the brain. Dyan's got bilateral calcification of the basal ganglia with a movement disorder, which is known as Farr's disease. We always look for other indicators because Dyan can't always communicate. So sometimes scratching or reaching to her chest or other sort of behaviours are indicators for us. What are you doing, princess? Why are you reaching above? She finds it very difficult to communicate in this phase. And this is not just the autism, this is just, is her brain online or offline? At the moment, with the way things are happening in her head at the moment, I'd say that she's not terribly online, although she's got guttural signs of pain. You're doing okay. Now, the clonazepam unfortunately takes a little while to kick in, so it could be about 20 minutes before we actually get some sort of relief in that sense. More likely up to about 30 minutes. Oxygen stats are 96, heart rate 69. You're doing so well, Bubba. Right, you're okay. Complex. That's what we keep being told. Complicated. 24 different specialists, multi-systemic. A non-cooperated collaborative approach where the separate specialists don't integrate, work together, coordinated in the care, and understand that one change over here can affect other changes over here. A condition that's not known in Australia, we go to specialists and they go, what's that? What do I need to know about that? Half of them have to Google it to try and find out a bit more about the condition. Makes it very difficult. A lot of stretching going on intensely at the moment, as you can see from your feet, which are hyper tense. So this is all part of the dystonia. You can see the hand distortion coming in here, focalized. You've got a contraction, back arching, but it's in the left. So this is like a seizure, but on a right hand roll. Normally she'll do left roll seizure type positions. So that was a subdued tonic-clonic style seizure for Dyan. It's okay. I can see your feet. I can see what's happening. You're doing okay. Heart rate has increased in conjunction with that up to 76. So typically when we get some sort of internal seizure activity like that, it creates an exertion and it creates a bit of a spike in the heart rate. Once that settles, or she maybe goes into syncope, passing out, then that heart rate will actually reduce and drop down. We can get a bit of the mixed bag with some of the neurological things that happen for Dyan. So you can get a crossover between having seizures such as atonic drop seizures, myoclonus, tics and jerks, the Tourette's that come with that. Roll you over, young lady. Okay, feet are good.
Cold.
You're cold. Okay, and we'll keep your tootsies warm. And yet she's actually hot, running a fever. Being tired neurologically during these episodes is quite common too with tonic-clonic seizures. She'll have that urge and want to roll over and literally want to try and fall asleep. Now, the problem with that is we don't get her falling asleep. This thrashing action, chorea, comes with generalized dystonia. This is an action that's a mode of movement. It's uncontrollable. Chorea is Latin from the word dancing, choreography. It's the Greek origin of that. Hey, sweet pea. I can see that you've got a lot of fixation. It's not releasing off, is it, behind the knee? So that cycling action, leg thrashing action, as if she's cycling a bike, but actually in a supine lying down position, is quite common part of the generalized dystonia. Oxygen stats are good. 97 heart rate increased up to 80 because of all that movement. Hey, sweetie. What's happening? Heater is working. I can see the temperature increasing. Yep, it is. It absolutely is. Doing good. 6:36 p.m. So sometimes this is a wait and see. Obviously, aspiration and difficulties with dysphagia may cause that coughing, laryngeal spasms. It's all right. Doing good. Now, I'd love her just to be able to roll over, fall asleep, and all this to go away. But even during sleep, she can still be having seizures and dystonia. It just happens that way. These are uncontrollable muscle contractions that she doesn't have a choice over. A bit like the Tourette's. She doesn't have the choice over when she has the motor tics or the vocalization that occurs with the vocal tics as well. But I just need to observe, because sometimes you can't hear them. Sometimes these things are silent, which is why we have things such as the pulse oximetry on to let us know if it hits certain thresholds. If her heart rate suddenly spikes up above 120, which is done before, 200, 250, or if it goes really low, below 50 beats. It's been down to the 25s and 30s. So her body with orthostatic intolerance, it's like an elevator, it just gets up and down when it wants to, when she's doing absolutely nothing. No control of the orthostatic intolerance, and that's part of the POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. You're doing really well, sweet pea. Noticing the clenching of the right fist, part of the focalized dystonia. You can see a gentle action, so it's vibrating through, so there's some sort of movement going on. So she's not at rest. She's got light levels of contractions that are happening. Just wanted to not be in pain. Hey, sweetie, I'm still here. You can't see? That's because your eyes are closed, Bubba. You'll go away, okay? You just let your eyelid muscles are closing the eyelids, alright? Again, leg thrashing. Chorea. You're doing good. And here, keep you safe. This will pass. No, Papa. Deep breaths, remember. Nice deep breaths. Got to keep an eye on respiration, how shallow it is, how frequent it is. Got to keep an eye on whether she's having issues with choking or aspiration. I keep an eye on what the heart is doing during these cycles. Sometimes I'll go tachycardia, which is very fast. Sometimes with the tachycardia we'll get more arrhythmia that coincides with that as well. So there might be sharp pains and angina. It might put pressure onto the heart and cardiac muscles. One of the unusual things with Dyan's condition of 22q is the prime mortality rate is actually related to cardiovascular related conditions. Even without a congenital heart defect at birth, things can still be acquired or change or adjust as they go through with these patients. She's still struggling. Oxygen starts at 96, heart rate's accelerated at 82. Very tight fist distortion and contraction of the hands. Bit of tension through these phalanx of the fingers. Dyan's breathing is shallow. Just try and slow your breathing. And let's get deeper breathing for me. Come on, deeper breathing, bub. Slow it down. Deeper breathing. There we go. Okay, bub. Thank you. Good go. It's currently 6:40 p.m. Oxygen sets to 95, heart rate 78. You can see the distortion that it creates through different body positions through these. You can see even in the face, still the right eyelid is mostly closed. The thrashing, which is the generalized tonic-clonic or chorea of the legs, it's very irritating. There's no control of the body posture. Now with a hypermobility condition, downless, Dyan's prone for subluxing and dislocating joints. You've got to be careful that things don't get into weird positions. Hello, darling. It's all right. You're doing so well. Hello, sweetie. I'll have to stop there. Do you have any chest pain at all?
Before.
Sweetie, any chest pain? Before you did? Not now? Okay, it's gone away. Good. All right. Now we use the videos, we record these on our channel as part of the clinical notes to record the progression for a person who's deteriorating with a progressive seizure disorder, neurological disorder. 22q itself is a neurodevelopmental condition, just like many of the umbrella conditions underneath, autism, ADHD, okay, they're all neurodevelopmental conditions. A lot of these things are out of Dyan's control. For seizures, the Tourette's, the Dystonia. Oh, I like the yawns. Now remember, the yawns are a key indicator that we look for, particularly after even mild type seizure activities that she's been going through. Yawns typically tell me either A, oxygen starvation, I'm trying to regather and get more oxygen in, or relaxation. It's a conclusion of, and I've reached that peak where we hopefully will be, fingers crossed, no more seizures. Now we haven't applied anti-seizure medications, any emergency. Sims, your turn. Out. Okay. Little one. Okay. We will carefully check the alignment. Every little joint is prone to being able to get dislocated. Now you imagine if you're contracting a body part, hand or a foot, in a weird distorted postural position where the muscles and the tendons are bowing and arching it back as if it's a drawn bow and you're ready to launch an arrow. They're in very tensed positions, and of course with the hypermobility they can cause these joints to just come out of alignment. These little hinge joints. There we go. So we just work our way through each of the joints and each of the different parts of the joint just to make sure that it's in. It's got its normal range of motion.
Too gentle.
Being too gentle? Oh, that's good. I don't want to be too hard or too rough. You got to build up. It's a bit like medication. Start low, go slow. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Is it gone?
I think the seizures are gone because you've already started the deep yawning cycle. The dystonia's segmented dystonia is still grabbing you in the face at the moment because you've got the blepharism engaging with your eyes. I'm hoping that the muscle relaxant by now is kicking in and starting to let those muscles relax. Second of the major yawns that we're looking for. Yay. With tonic-clonic seizures, about 15% of those can end up in connection with Todd's paresis or Todd's paresis for Don. That's where particularly the lower limbs, bilaterally, both sides, can become paralysed, cannot have any sensation or movement, toes, feet, ankles, knees, even all the way up to the hips. Rare, very rare occasions that can also transcend into the upper periphery for the arms. And again, normally equally bilaterally. Sometimes they can be biased on one side, which will be dominant on her left for Dyan's side. Because of all this segmented cranial dystonia affecting the jaw and the lips and the tongue and the thrusting and the transmandibular joint, it's very easy, and particularly with people with 22q, to have constant subluxations or dislocations, issues around the transmandibular joint, TMJ, just as much as I can around the neck for cervical region, and particularly C1, C2. And that's where the CCI comes in. You're doing well, Bob.
It's too early.
Well, you're not going to go to bed because you know what will happen. You will recover out of this. The nausea will go away. I think it's third or fourth of the deep yawns. We're out of the woods now, so I feel comfortable to say that the seizures are.
Sunday.
You want chocolate sundae? Yes, please. But what happens on a Wednesday? Is it a chocolate Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, ice cream with brownie.
Ice cream with brownie, eh? Gluten-free brownie.
Dreaming.
You're dreaming. So while you're having a seizure, you were dreaming of having a chocolate sundae.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a nice dream to have. I wouldn't mind that. Fudge. Can't have the nuts on top because you'd have anaphylaxis because you're allergic to nuts. But you can have the cherry on top with whipped cream. The strangest things that she says coming out of these. And particularly when she's got this hyper-intensive episodic memory, it's amazing how the brain can go off into really weird or interesting tangents of things that we may have been talking about over the recent days or weeks. There's no filter as well, and that's where sometimes we'll see the Tourette's even more amplified before and after these seizures because they're all tied in for Dyan neurologically. Aspiration happens quite a lot of coronial irritation, unfortunately, on the esophagus. This will be like an itchy, scratchy throat probably for the next 24 hours for Dyan. She might get some head pain because of having a seizure, quite commonly temporalis or left and right hand side cranium. Short and intense, short duration. Any of the actions that we're seeing, whether it's dystonia or seizure, might cause bruising or straining of the muscles, tension on the joints, and cause them to be hurting, so increasing the pain level, so overall body pain might increase.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, how are you feeling, Bert?
Tired.
Tired? Well, you're allowed to relax. You're not going to go to sleep yet because you know what, that would totally ruin your sleep routine. We've had before this for a number of nights some really irregular sleep routines. We've even brought out the blue light circadian rhythm glasses to try and rebalance Dyan's circadian rhythm because it was so whacked, not being able to get to bed until 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning sort of type days. And none of that helps in getting regular routine quality sleep. And sleep is a primary number one driver for going into neurological issues with her pre-existing condition, which has a lower threshold into migraines and also seizures as well, and movement disorders. You've done really well, sweetie. We've only had to give you a clonazepam to help relax you, then some ondansetron trying to feel the nausea. That's all done. So that's all we had to do. So that's really good. We haven't had to give you any of the big, heavy, yucky stuff. So that's really good, Pam. Happy with that. We've been trying to reduce certain types of medications. Unfortunately, everything's got pros and cons. It might help a certain symptom or a condition, but then it also has a knock-on effect to other areas and parts of the body. We've been trying to reduce the amount of muscle relaxants and painkillers and other things. But conversely, when we do that, it helps with GI tract and other central nervous or neurotropic functions like the bowels. But the flip side is you then have more precedence, more regularity of having seizures in these events. They also tend to last longer and they can also be more intense. So it's a weighing up pros and cons, cost benefit sort of matrix between it all. If you sit up a little bit, it might help your breathing. I can give you some Ventolin if you like as well. Nyet nyet, that's your favourite Tourette's vocal tick, isn't it? The nyet nyet. By sitting up central, that's just going to help you a little bit better with your breathing. Do you want some asthma spray at all? Yep. One puff coming up, man.
I can't get it out.
Sorry, you can't get it out?
Yeah.
Okay. We use these spacer just for the delivery. Single puff, which you can do. Take your time, balance it out. Count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good girl. You did really well. Now you can obviously have more if you feel like it, or in the next 4 minutes you can have more of that as well. It does help to dry out, it does help to open up, it does help to improve the breathing, particularly after that restriction. Oxygen stats are 98%, heart rate is 73. How's the brain feeling? What's going on? Come back around?
How's it been?
Let me see, it's 6:51. At 6 o'clock you were starting to show early indications of it going on. This has been going on for 37 minutes.
It was drawn out. It was horrible.
It is. I actually agree. The more drawn out, protracted ones are actually more yucky and horrible, more spacey. But you felt it beforehand. You felt the pre-ictal indicators. Do you want to explain that a bit more, just to say what was happening for you?
Because you've been busy, so I'm trying to help by communicating. And
So you're really trying to focus and concentrate on your communication for early indicators to tell me, because I have been busy with the NDIS, doing lots of meetings and business and email communications. Yeah.
2 days ago,
Yep.
so I've been on alert.
And you have been alert, so your pain levels have been higher. It's affected sometimes your sleep.
And I
Migraines.
showered today, so
You did a thing.
exhausted
She did a thing.
me, and I wasn't
And that's a shower. Yeah.
energetic enough, and I knew that would possibly do this.
Yeah.
And I thought I was fine on most of the day,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started to get spacey, and I noticed myself just stuck, staring in a certain direction, and I couldn't move my head back.
Okay, so you
Then I
notice
felt
yourself.
spacey.
So you notice yourself stuck. So that means you're locked, but you knew you're off. So that's
Yeah,
a
but my
focal
mouth was
seizure
open, I
with
was
awareness.
staring somewhere else, and I was like,
Okay.
why can't I turn my head? I couldn't turn my head.
Okay. So these are focal seizures with awareness. Okay.
No.
Were you having any absent seizures that you're aware of
I
today?
felt spacey, I don't know.
Okay. Now you're not. Remember, with absent seizures, they last anywhere between 3 to 10 seconds. it's like a brain reboot. You don't know that you're going through it. You come out of it, you just keep going as if everything's normal.
You're on the computer and phone doing the work, so
Yeah.
you weren't watching and I can't see myself.
No, you can't see yourself. You can't tell yourself, unfortunately. Whereas, no, absence seizures aren't going to kill you. That's great, but they are also good in early indicator that something else is coming on. It's a pre-ictal phase for Dyan. Have you had any issues walking to and from the toilet today?
I thought I was going to have one when you were in the meeting.
Right.
I panicked, but it passed.
Okay.
I thought I got out of it, and I thought, great, it's gone.
Okay, so let's explain that, because there's two components to that. First of all, it is actually very difficult in the role of being the primary sole full-time carer for Dyan 24/7 and still having to do certain functions, whether it's going off to the pharmacy or to the shops, whether it's doing meetings, being on a phone call. In this case, I was on a Zoom or Teams meeting with a new support coordination, level 3, so specialist support coordination for Dyan. So it's very important because it's something which Dyan can't herself participate in at this level. It's something which is exhausting. There's a lot of data, clinical information, a lot of scheduling, coordination, back history to bring all this sort of thing up. So that went for about 40 minutes. But my concern always in doing this, one, I have to be focused, concentrated on the communications, being aware that, look, every minute is something which is you're getting billed with through the NDIS. So you've got to make every second literally count. You've got to give information in a clear and succinct way. And answering things, tinnitus, right here.
Yeah.
Just push down a little bit on.
Oh, I forgot.
What did you forget?
When you were talking to me, because of the people trapped up in the cherry picker.
Oh, okay, what happened then?
You were telling me.
Yeah.
And this ear went.
Like a whoosh or a
Like,
pop or a pressure?
like,
Oh, okay. So it's like a tinnitus
what's that
sensation.
called?
I don't know, it's like a dampening of the sound as if something's put a hand over as you
What's
spoke.
that?
So you've been getting a lot more tinnitus indicators
I've had
as well.
tinnitus for days.
Yeah. And particularly coming out of the full moon, let's not coincide that, but anecdotally the full moon, and it was a full blood moon this time round, which is quite rare.
Awful.
It also does cause a lot of sleep related issues, and Dyan is a person who is affected, whether it's, and remember too, look, the moon associates itself to tidal patterns and inflammation and the fluid in our body. So look, there's a lot of research that coincides changes and effects to sleep patterns because of moon cycles. Look that up and look at your own patterns that coincide. But what I was saying is, there's some difficulties. I have to be attending these appointments and doing things. Sometimes I've got to be off site. And it's very difficult when we don't have other supports in place who are medically competent to be able to deliver medicines or seizure trained, CPR trained, whatever else. But that's what we're looking for, high intensity supports. Well, was the whole idea of this meeting. Hopefully this meeting will move on to... They do, they actually do specialise very specifically in the complex support needs planning and finding other agencies that provide high intensity complex support needs staff who are normally ex-nurses who are trained very highly in the things that you see us do on a regular, where most disability support workers don't know that, aren't trained to that level and can't, they're not allowed to actually dispense or do certain actions like provide oxygen even, a normal disability support worker. So you have to be a high intense support needs staff trained and qualified to be able to do that, because even in giving oxygen at the wrong time or giving too much oxygen can actually harm or kill a person. So you've got to be careful and know what to do in these cases.
I have to heat the remote control.
I've got what, remote control?
I have to heat it.
You want to have the heater, as long as you're not too hot. Can I just have a little touchy-feely? Well, your temperature has come down dramatically actually, so that's okay. You can have that. Room temperature is 22.9 degrees, oxygen stats are 96%, heart rate is 74, it's 6:59, it's 16 degrees outside. So that's been a conundrum, and it's a conundrum for many people who are informal carers, looking after their loved ones, when they have to step away from these environments, when they have to go and do their normal mundane. In the old days, it's me having to go to work Monday to Friday, you know, the 9 to 5, which wasn't really 9 to 5, it was like 7 in the morning until 7 o'clock at night. But these days, it's when I have to go off to I've got a doctor's appointment myself tomorrow just to go and get scripts, as an example. Sure, it's down the road, but it's still leaving the location, going to do these things and coming back, and you haven't got eyes on to check on you. So everything has repercussions. And you know, if you were to have a seizure like this just before me going to my own doctor's appointment tomorrow, I'd have to cancel at the last minute. That has repercussions. That they charge a cancellation fee, which is a knock-on effect. And for people like us, carers or disability support pension, you can't afford those sort of things, and nor can you also afford to miss out on getting your scripts or medications and things done. Soon we're going to have more, which is going to be brilliant, and I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable and confident because there's people with better skills who are highly trained, who know what they're doing, and that helps you because they're confident and can keep you comfortable.
I need someone that takes that stress off me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't have to worry.
100%, but they also understand then your condition. You know, with patients who are very fatiguing conditions, they're not expecting you to get up like a psychosocial patient and go and have fun and go to the cafe or go for a walk on the Billman track or, you know, go to the movies and even just to help out in the kitchen. It's like, you can't do that. It's okay. Nothing to be sorry about, but
I wish it was like that.
Absolutely. But we want to preserve your energy for when you have good days. And it doesn't matter what time of the day it is, to go and do those cool things.
I want to see the horses.
You want to see the horses?
Yeah,
I think so.
Look at my outfit.
Yeah, she actually has got a really gorgeous equine outfit. The boots, the jumpers, everything. Even the bows. You want to cuddle the horses. Well, that's something which we're going to aim towards doing, which, when I get hold of other support stuff, I can manage that because it's safer. And we can transport you, and we'll have the proper wheelchairs and everything else to be able to help, and oxygen to help outside of this house. And it keeps you safer. But it also gets you having activities of daily living, things that you want to do, goals that you want to reach, things that make you feel good, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's really important.
Yes.
I still see you struggling a little bit with your eyes. The right-hand side of your face, or the eyebrows a bit drooped down. So this is facial neuropathy for Dyan, where she gets her right eyebrow drooping down lower than the left, so it's not quite balanced. The eyes are struggling.
Do I look weird?
No, it's just irregular. It just sometimes happens. And it's still, you're shaking out of the facial dystonia. Those involuntary muscle contractions haven't gone, because I can still see your jaw just doing a little pop just then. It's still, it's still involuntary. I don't even know if you notice or feel those things at the time, so you just did it again then as well.
No, not really.
Yeah, I think it's again, because it's not a control thing saying, hey, I need to move my jaw and I know I'm doing that. These actions are involuntary. You're not able to maybe measure and see those unless you're actually looking at yourself deeply in a mirror. And when you go, oh my goodness me, this is happening. I didn't even know that it was happening at that stage.
It's a blob.
It's a blob. Over the last couple of days, I wanted to ask you a question. You had lost sensation in your right-hand cheek, inside, outside. Is that still the same?
Still numb.
Oh, look, who's that?
Thank you, Max.
Max is back. Hello, Boo. How are you? Thank you. Willow, on the other hand, is just over there still chillaxing. He's not doing much, but Max likes to be involved. He likes his cuddles with Mum.
I love you, Mum.
Is that the best support cat or what? Hey?
The best support cat.
Best support cat. You could do this with a horse. I'd squash you. I'm just saying. You got to think of these things.
I lay on top of the horse.
Well, that's true if you did it the other way around, but it doesn't provide you with pressure. Pressure is a good thing as well. A bit of decompression.
Lay on me.
Yeah. Well, you've done very well. Can you wriggle your toes and move your feet okay? Just to check for me. Okay, I can see movement. That's okay. Weak is good. We don't have Todd's paresis this time, so that's important. Well, Dyan's got through this episode at 7:02 p.m. It is Wednesday. I'm glad that the only thing we've had to engage with is clonazepam as a muscle relaxant, ondansetron for nausea, Panadol obviously for the temperature, medicinal CBD to cover things such as the pain, and the rizatriptane wafers, which are the bath salt wafers for the migraines. Now, 2 of those in one day is very, very unusual for you, so your migraine must have been really, really bad. You've also used your neck brace for today, you've used your ice for today, and you've had the massage and the massage gun for traction on your neck. So we apply a lot of different things. Heat pack, ice, we had a few clicks, absolutely. So, you know what, it's a multi-systemic, the whole body is affected at different parts, and one part can have a knock-on effect to other parts, and some of these things contributing can then trigger, particularly when your threshold level is lower.
He's got a
Use Supermax.
He's got a cake.
Dun, 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 dun. We call him Supermax. Maximum entry.
I love you.
Hello,
Max.
buddy. Yes, you're doing your job really well.
You love all of us, don't you?
Indeed.
He loves
He does.
Willow.
Now, guys, any of the information that you see here or
Loves
we talk
Mummy
about, it's not
memories.
advice or guidance for you to go on and apply directly to yourself. Same thing with diagnosis. That's what your own clinical team's there for. So go and see your primary care physician, your GP, get a referral to a specialist, go and get investigated, go and get genetic studies done if that's what you need, and find out what condition that you might have. You might have one, some, or similar to what Dyan's got as well. And we hope that this information is suitable to give you some indications of what we go through for Dyan's condition, both as a carer, partner, husband, family, and Dyan as the patient and participant dealing with these multiple different rare conditions. Like I said, there's over 7,000 different rare conditions. 250 new rare conditions have been discovered and found each and every year. Only 5% of those have actually got treatment plans and management in place. 10 years to get diagnosis. That's a huge amount of time to actually achieve, and half of those conditions won't actually get a diagnosis, unfortunately. It's really sad. So we need to put more money into medical research, genetic research, and think about some of those outliers. It's not just the main name conditions which have been around for decades and have got good funding and visibility and awareness, but a lot of these rare conditions are so unique, so rare, so undervalued. In Dyan's case, most of the doctors, GPs, specialists in their entire practice of 30 plus years will never come across a patient like Dyan with her condition, and therefore they haven't researched and found out more about it. And that's what we want to do, is create better awareness and education to help patients like Dyan, so that we can get early detection. Genetic testing is something which is incredibly useful, and by doing so we can actually help improve the pathways and the outcomes for patients with these conditions earlier, which is massive. That means they can maybe have gainful employment, better relationships, just thrive, have better lives, full stop. And that's always a benefit. Guys, if you enjoyed today's content, give a big thumbs up of encouragement. You've got comments, questions, ideas, and suggestions, leave them below. Thank you so much for being here, watching, supporting, subscribing. Don't forget to actually share our channel so that other people can find the channel. That always helps us as well. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we will see you and Max,
do you want to say goodbye
in another episode.
Pour it out.
You're going to pour it out. Ready? We're going to pour this
Ready?
out. 1, 2, 3.
Say
Say bye.